Iraqi government has declared victory over Islamic State in the city of Mosul, but there are still pockets of resistance in Iraq as well as in Syria. The Caliph of the so-called Islamic State, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, is dead according to some reports, but some say that he is most certainly alive. What about nearly 30,000 fighters who have joined Islamic State from various parts of the world, from some 100 countries, including India? All of them could not be dead. Some of them have returned, and the worrying part is that at least some of them have come to India. A parallel development is happening of online jihad, and the propaganda tool is this, the smartphone. Encrypted chat applications like Telegram are being used to propagate Islamic State's propaganda. Razaul has done a story, an investigative piece on the spread of Islamic State in various chat applications, particularly in Jammu and Kashmir. Reza, there is twofold threat now. One is the online threat, and of course new modules and sleeper cells being formed by the Islamic State in various parts of India.
Yeah, well, this story that we did focused on one particular group, which is called the Ansar al-Khilafah Jammu and Kashmir. And it appeared to be an effort by ISIS members or sympathizers to get some sort of traction in Jammu and Kashmir. If you talk to Indian security officials, most of them say that the IS has no presence on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir. But at the same time, they're not willing to rule out the possibility that the group could have sympathizers or supporters in that part of the world. And that is especially worrying for us because Jammu and Kashmir has been on the ferment for more than a year. The ground is ripe for some sort of recruitment, for carrying out attacks. And this channel that I tracked for some time was the contents were pretty worrying because they were detailed instructions on how to gather together for attacks, how to manage resources. There were even detailed instructions on how to carry out a truck attack like the one in Nice or in France or the one in Berlin in Germany.
So I think that is the more worrying part because it may exist only online or in, like I said, in smartphones on all these chat applications. But if somebody takes the inspiration from these conversations and carries out a lone wolf attack, that is the more likely possibility than a group actually forming. So is it just existing in the cyber world, or do you actually think that there are groups being formed in Jammu and Kashmir and other parts of the country?
Well, the worrying thing about the IS is how it is very different from other terror groups. Other terror groups like Al-Qaeda or even say Lashkar-e-Toiba, they recruit, train members, then send them out for attacks. The IS is very different in the sense that it has always sought to inspire people around the world to carry out attacks. It doesn't really it doesn't go about creating cells in different countries. Well, all it says is that if a person is willing to swear allegiance to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi and then carry out attack, he is considered an IS member. So we've had this, this channel which was giving detailed instructions on how people could organize themselves, how they could mobilize themselves for possible attacks. So I think it's, to answer your question, it exists both on the phone, in the cyber space, but that existence could drive an existence in the real world.
And in the recent past, social media outlets like Facebook and Twitter have actually tried for the first time acknowledging that the hate speech is happening through their platforms, and they have tried to curtail extremism online. And at least one country, Indonesia, has clamped down on Telegram encrypted chat app, and Russia has said that the recent attack in St. Petersburg metro, the people behind it used Telegram to sort of communicate. Do you think that it is time for applications like Telegram to either themselves censor the content or to be taken down or to be clamped down by the government agencies?
Well, Telegram features some very high level of encryption, and that is the reason why it is favored by all sorts of people. It's even favored by journalists. But it has also become a favorite tool for jihadists like the members of Islamic State. Now, an interesting aspect is after Hindustan Times carried the report on Ansar al-Khilafah Jammu and Kashmir, that particular channel is no longer available. It has either been taken down by Telegram itself, or some other steps have been taken to make it inaccessible. However, a number of channels that are linked to it are still available, so a lot of that material is still out there. Now, when you talk about clamping down, there are two things that are involved. One is free speech. Now, if you go look around the world in this age of digital communications, people all over the world are talking about freedom of expression. So you can't really just clamp down on something like this. Then you affect the privacy and the rights of a lot of people. But at the same time, there is a very strong need for companies like the one that runs Telegram to work with security agencies to ensure that this platforms such as these are not misused by groups like Islamic State.
The history of the so-called war on terrorism has taught us one thing, that these organizations never die. Taliban is still alive and they have formed various groups. Al-Qaeda is still alive, a lot of splinter groups, so is Islamic State. Maybe the territory in Syria and Iraq that Islamic State has is going out because of the strong pushback from the coalition forces and the government forces in these countries. But the presence of these organizations in the cyber world, in the online world, continues, and Jihad version 2.0 is alive and kicking right here. Thanks for watching.